What's up, guys? It's Werther. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about what you can do to build a good culture at your school, right? So in general, I believe that the culture at a school gets set mostly from the top down. The owner of the school, your instructors, right? The high-level belts, they will be the ones that are most responsible for setting a good, positive culture in the gym environment. That being said, right? You as a new person or as a blue belt or someone who's has been in your school for maybe only a couple of years, you can do a lot to set a positive culture too. Number one, be welcoming to the new people that are trying class. This, I think, is pretty self-explanatory, but maybe if you've been training jiu-jitsu a while, you forgot what it was like to walk in the first day, or maybe you're just a very extroverted person and this doesn't apply to you. But a lot of times when people go into a martial arts school for the first time, it can be a pretty intimidating experience, right? They're walking into a room of what they assume are highly trained people that are good at fighting, and they may not know anybody there that's already in class. So it can be a bit of an intimidating experience, So be the person that makes that day easier for that person, right? Make sure you greet them, right? Introduce yourself, tell them about the school a little bit, do your best to make them feel welcome, make them feel like this is an environment that they could not only blend into, but contribute to, and just do your best to convince them to sign up. Do your best to convince them to keep coming, because guess what, guys? You need a constant influx of new people. You need a constant influx of new white belts in your school in order to progress everybody else's training, right? So when you started, you were the one that was getting submitted and beat up during the training sessions, right? And so you learned basic defense on how to not get submitted, basically, right? And the people that were doing that stuff to you, that were employing the submissions on you, they're learning basic offensive skills, right? Now you have been in the gym for a while. You're the one that's employing the basic offensive skills on the new people, and you need a new influx of those people to continue to progress your existing student base, right? So even from a purely self-interested perspective of having a training partner that you can employ techniques on, from that sense, you should try your best to get them to continue to come, make them feel welcome, make them feel like this is the environment for them, that they're gonna have a great time. Number two, and this is closely related to number one, but once that new person signs up after their first day or their first week of trying class, do your best to help them out in the beginning of their jiu-jitsu journey. Because this is a pretty challenging time for a lot of people. When they're initially starting, it's like, all right, I did my first class, I did my first week, maybe I've started doing drilling, positional drilling, and I'm getting submitted a lot, right? And I'm getting beat up, and I feel like I'm losing every drill, I'm not doing well. Let them know that this experience is not unique to them. That's really important. Tell them like, hey man, listen, like when I started, it was the exact same way. I got beat up, I got submitted, And for me, it's true too. When I first started wrestling, I was terrible at it. I was really, really bad. I lost my first 19 wrestling matches in high school in a row. My first 19 before I won a single one. Ultimately, I persevered, and one reason for that was, I had a really supportive team. I had really supportive coaches, and I had really supportive training partners that just encouraged me to continue trying. So be that person for the new people that are feeling down about not doing well, right? Let them know that, yeah, this is tough, man. It's a skill set that takes a long time to develop, and you may not be submitting people for your first 6 months. It is what it is. You just got to persevere, learn what you can, and get a little bit better every day. Number three, and this one is really, really important, guys. When you guys are live training, prioritize your training partner's safety over winning an exchange. So here's what this means, all right? Let's say I'm rolling with somebody, right? And I put them into an armbar real quick, right? I am not going to blast into that armbar submission, because I feel like if I don't, they have the chance to get out. No, I'm going to employ it nice and slow, and I'm going to take extra care to make sure that the person I'm employing it to does not get hurt. If I'm going against a white belt, I'll extend the armbar all the way to where their arm is 180 degrees, and then I'll usually just hold it, right? I'll just hold it, for a couple seconds, and then if they still haven't tapped, I'll very gradually start applying it so that they know that they're caught. The reason I do this is some people, unfortunately, let their egos get in the way of their jiu-jitsu progression, in the sense that they will risk injury in a training environment so that they can say they didn't get tapped, or they can mentally feel like, they didn't lose the exchange. You could argue that they also have a responsibility to tap and save themselves, and that's certainly true, right? But the responsibility goes both ways, because you don't want to be the person as well that is like, well, me winning the exchange and my ego is more important than me making sure that I don't hurt this person. So when you're employing submissions, do so nice and slowly, particularly with beginners. With another competitor, it's a different story. So if I'm rolling against another competitor, right, I am going to employ the submission far more quickly than I would against a normal training partner. But I'm still going to stop, I'm still going to stop at one point and make sure that I don't, break the submission off. So I'm not going to crank a Kimura super hard all at once, right? I'm going to clear the grips, and then I will still apply gradually, just maybe a little bit faster than I would against a new student. Again, you want to make sure that you protect your training partners, and you make them understand that what they're doing is against their best interest, basically, right? They don't want to hurt themselves just because they have this desire to not get submitted. So instead of just employing the submission like really quickly and potentially injuring your training partners, just educate them, right? Just educate them about safety practices of the school and how they should be tapping. Number 4, and this is just in general, guys, be the person that makes someone want to come back to class. And so this encompasses all that I've already talked about, but in general, just bring as much positivity as you can to the environment. A lot of people, when they come into jiu-jitsu, they do it as an escape from the problems of their lives outside of the school. So don't be that guy that adds another burden to them, right? Don't be someone that brings people down. At the end of the day, someone that's having a tough time in class, or maybe is struggling with certain things outside of the school, if you're that positive person that makes them want to come back to class, you might be the grain of sand that tips the scales, right? You might be that person that convinces them to continue coming and convinces them to continue progressing in their jiu-jitsu journey. You may not be a coach. You may be a new student. You may just be a blue belt, right? Or you may be an advanced belt, or you may be a coach, right? No matter where you are in the grand scheme of things in the school, right? There is something you can do to positively contribute to your school's culture and environment and make it a fun, supportive place where anybody can come in and have a good time when they're training, right? So be that person, guys. Take care.